The Quest of the Simple Life. Dr. Dan Goodman once performed LASIK eye surgery on a woman looking to ditch her glasses. The patient returned for a checkup a few weeks later, despondent. She said the surgery ruined her life. There was nothing wrong with the procedure. She could see clearly without glasses for the first time in years. Goodman pressed. Then what's the problem? The patient said she expected that after losing her glasses, her husband would find her more attractive and her co-workers would find her more intelligent. When she realized they didn't, and love and respect weren't driven by something superficial like her glasses, she was crushed. You have a problem I can help you with, Goodman told her. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it earlier. It's outstanding to witness someone gain what they thought they always wanted, only to realize that happiness is more complicated than they first assumed. And my gosh, that is so true with money. There is an old saying that nothing's worse than getting what you want, but not what you need. That sums up so many people's relationship with money and success. If you're lucky enough to get what you want, money, you might still realize it's not what you need. Family, friends, health, being part of something bigger than yourself. And then you're disappointed. What could be worse? This book is about how spending money has a little to do with spreadsheets and numbers and a lot to do with psychology, envy, social aspirations, identity, insecurity, and other topics that are often ignored in finance. Can money buy happiness? Yes. Can spending money make you happier? Yes. But it's more complicated than many people think. In between the numbers, charts, and data sits the messiness and absurdity of human mind. Money is a remarkable tool that can provide a better life if you know how to use it. But knowing how to use it is quite different from knowing how to acquire it. Winston Churchill famously said that he got more out of alcohol than alcohol got out of him. By the same logic, I have seen rich people whose money got more out of them than they got from it because they spent their life desperately chasing money without any sense of how to use it to make them happier. I have also seen low income people get tremendous value out of what little money they had, using it as a source of leverage to acquire more of what made them happy. What matters is not necessarily how much money you have, it's whether you understand and can control the psychology and behaviors that can make the connection between money and happiness and more complicated than we assume. There are so many ways that observation can affect your own life. Think about a broke young person who buys a car he can't afford because he thinks it will bring respect and admiration from peers. Or someone who diligently saved their entire life but cannot bring themselves to spend a reasonable amount of money in retirement because savor has become ingrained as part of their identity. Or a young couple saving for a down payment on a two-bedroom house whose expectations are suddenly inflated by a friend who just bought a three-bedroom house. The rich entrepreneur who never feels like she has enough. The low-wage worker who always feels like he has plenty. None of these topics have to do with spreadsheets or numbers. They're so much messier than that. It's all psychology, sociology, and understanding how everyone's different. Understanding how everyone's just trying to make it through life the best they can, making sense of the world given the experience they had, who they want to be, and what they think others think of them. In school, finance is taught as a science, the clean formulas and logical conclusions. But in real world, money is an art. I work as a valet. I work as a valet at a five-star hotel in Los Angeles during college. One day, we hosted an invite-only high-end furniture show for the city's moneyed elite. A man came out to the valet stand chatting with a friend about how he just spent 21,000 bucks on an armchair. Several of my colleagues and I overheard him and were stunned. Spending spending that much on a chair was inconceivable to us. The guy saw our bewildered expressions and said, "Boys, I know, it's crazy, but when you have money, this is what you're supposed to do." I found it such an interesting choice of words. Supposed to do. Did he actually like the chair? Or was he blindly pursuing what society told him he's supposed to like and how he should spend his money? I remember then thinking, as a 19-year-old aspiring to be rich one day, is that what I'm supposed to do one day? Is that what I'm supposed to do one day? I'm supposed to study long hours in college and grind in a career for decades so I can tell my friends I bought an ugly chair that cost the equivalent of one half of an average household income? Would that actually make me happier? As I processed it all, I remember my reaction going from astonishment to amusement to almost feeling bad for the guy. I got to know a lot of these people. It felt like so many of them had this mindless chase for wealth without actually knowing why they wanted it, other than their primal urge for more. They were very good at making money, but their ability to turn that money into meaningfully better life felt rocky at best. Of course, there's another path. Many people have figured out how to use money as a tool to provide things that actually make them happier in life. But a rich chair guy had it right. What society tells us we're supposed to do with money isn't always what we should do, what we should be doing to get the most out of it. It's not our fault. A combination of evolution and social forces tell us, often in shouts, what we should want: more money than other people, bigger stuff than other people, shinier toys than other people. Sometimes that is what we want and what you could chase and what you could chase. More often we will realize that spending money to show people how much money you have is a fast way to go broke and an expensive way to gain respect. Disappointment is often the outcome. Now I think you can use money to build a better life. I think buying nice stuff can bring you joy. I love ambition, hard work, and most of all, independence. But after writing about money for 2 decades, I'm constantly amazed at how bad most of us at knowing what we want out of money, or how to use it as anything more than a benchmark of status and success. And let me be clear, most of this book is reflections I have had trying to figure out money and happiness in my whole life. If you ask parents what they wish for their kids, many will say, I just want them to be happy. Do you want them to be rich and successful? Well, sure, they'll say, but mostly I just want them to be happy. That's great thinking. But many of those same parents in their own lives chase money and status at the expense of happiness. Perhaps the reason parents wish happiness over success for their children is because they've seen the downsides of blindly pursuing one over the other. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists to ever live, was once asked, what do you consider to be more or less basic factors making for happiness in the human mind? Jung listed them off. 1. Good physical and mental health. 2. Good personal and intimate relationships such as those of marriage and family and friendships. 3. The faculty for perceiving beauty in art and nature. 4. Reasonable standards of living and satisfactory work. 5. A philosophic or religious point of view capable of coping successfully with the vicissitudes of life. You can see how having money can affect some of those points, but money, especially lots of it, is not of those points. This book will teach you how to spend money. If I or anyone could do that, it would be called the science of spending money. But I'm more interested in art of spending money. Art can be distilled into one fits-all formula. Art is complicated, often called contradictory, often contradic- contra, contra, contradictory, contradictory, and can be windowed into your personality. The art of spending money covers things like individuality, greed, jealousy, status, and regret. That's what this book is about. I tried to tackle the art of spending money from several angles, but you'll find few common denominators. 1. There are two ways to use money. One is a tool to live a better life. The other is a yardstick of status to measure yourself against others. Many people aspire for the former but spend their life chasing the latter. 2. Money is a tool you can use, but if you're not careful, it will use you. It will use you without mercy, and often without you even knowing it. For many people, money is both a financial asset and a psychological liability. Blind lust for more can hijack your identity, control your personality, and wedge out parts of your life that bring great happiness. 3. Spending money can buy happiness, but is often spending money can buy happiness, but is often an indirect path. Money itself doesn't buy happiness, but it can help you find independence and purpose, both key ingredients for a happier life if you cultivate them. A big, nice house might make you happier, but mostly because it makes it easier to have friends and family over, and the friends and family are actually what are making you happy. 4. Enduring happiness is found in a contentment. So those happiest with money tend to be those who have found a way to stop thinking about it. You can value it, appreciate it, even marvel it. But if money never leaves your mind, it's likely you'll find yourself with an obsession where it controls you. The best use of money is a tool to leverage who you are, but never to define who you are.